December 5th. It is my day off. Monday is usually my only day off, and so we're going to have a very chill day today, full of doing all the things, all the catch-up things that happen on your days off. I normally work 2 days as a PT in a physical therapy clinic, and then I babysit my granddaughter for the other 2 days. So Monday is my day to play catch up, and so hopefully it's not too boring for you. I'm gonna do some plant watering, and I've been meaning to do a plant video. Working with plants is one of the things that I've gotten into here in my empty nester sort of days. I have a little bit more time on my hands, and I've been really enjoying growing and propagating plants. And so hopefully I can bring you along for that. And just running some errands and doing some Christmassy things, and hopefully later catching up on some podcasts. I am involved in a Sophie scarf along, knit along with my local yarn shop here in Lancaster. And so later on, I'm going to be hopping on to that Zoom call and chatting with the ladies and having a little Sophie scarf along. I have about 4 of them to knit for gifts. And so anytime I have a moment, I sit down, I catch up on Vlogmas and podcasts, and knit my little Sophie scarf, and my little one of many Sophie scarves. And so I have different combinations, and I'm hoping to show you that a little bit later. But for now, I'm hitting Aldi, grabbing a few things for dinner, and then I'm gonna come home and water my plants and do some organizing. So again, I hope it's not too boring, but I'd love to bring you along and show you what I'm doing with my plants. All right, I'll talk to you when I get back from Aldi. Bye. Here's my little watering setup. I like to bring some of the smaller plants that I have into the bathroom sink. I have a little drying / draining rack for them. And so what I do is go around the house, collect all the little guys, take them out of their decorative pots, and just let them sit here on their watering little setup here, and I water them thoroughly, but I let them drain. And I found since doing this method, the plants have really responded, and they don't have a tendency to kind of sit in water from the decorative pot that they are in if I just go around the house and water. And so I don't have too many, but I'm gonna go collect them now, and then once we're set up, I will show you. Here is my first little round of guys that are getting water. These are my smallest, but some of the ones that I'm most proud of. This little guy here is called String of Turtles. And look at his little leaves. They look just like little turtles. And he's been doing really well. I had him in a different location, and he wasn't really thriving, so I moved him upstairs to give him a little bit more sun, and he's doing really well. All of this stuff that you see here is sort of new growth coming out, and these are like little air roots that come out, and so there's a lot of signs on him of doing really well, but he definitely needs a little bit of water. This is my money plant. He's doing really well here in the bathroom. We recently put in a huge picture window. We just redid this bathroom, but that area there used to be a shower stall, and we pulled out the shower stall and we installed a soaking tub there. But this window has been such a great addition. Anytime we can kind of lighten things up, and this is quite a small bathroom. Just to give you some reference, that is a 55-inch bathtub. And so anyway, I just love this huge window that we put in so that I can also have another area to keep all of my plants. So yeah, this is what I do, and I'm gonna get ready to water these guys now. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you. This is my new philodendron that I got. This is a philodendron Billy, and I just love these long heart-shaped leaves that they get. This is actually a new leaf, and so it doesn't have some of the crinkling that you see on an old leaf, but this guy shot up and just got almost this big before he decided to open. And now he's open, and his leaf is all bright green and shiny, and I just love this plant. These plants are known to get monstrous, and so I bought this plant at a local botanist, and I am really hoping that he gets these huge leaves that I've seen on some accounts. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and water, and I will see you soon. Next up is my staghorn fern, which has also become really huge. It must really like where it is in the window. I'll show you that set up in a little bit. I like my containers that I put them in. But yeah, you find these great plants in very odd places. I found this guy much smaller, probably about half the size, at my local supermarket. And I had been wanting one. I wanted actually one of the mounted ones that you see in different places, mounted and hanging, like almost hanging on the wall, like some artwork. And although he's not like that, he's in a pot. Here he is. These things down here have recently changed a bit and gotten dry. I have to look into, I know that they exist to keep the water in the plant and help prevent things from getting overly dry. However, they have changed color recently. The plant's doing great. And I actually just brought him in here for show when I water him because of those caps. I did read online that you have to sort of submerge that whole pot and give it a good dunk and let the soil take a drink, and then I sit him on the drainage area here and just let all that excess water drain off. But I adore these leaves. I just think they're just so cool. and I am very proud of him. He is really doing well and seems to like it where he's at. Next up is my pothos plant. Again, another plant that was relatively small. These are trailing plants. And so when we moved and changed homes, I placed this guy here, and we have some skylights up above, right, and they come right, let me pan over and show you. So there's the skylights up above, and they shine right down on my pothos. And, excuse me, and he's gotten really nice and super green. He is like 3 shades greener than where I had him in my last home. But what I really wanted to do in this situation right here, when we moved, again, this is another addition to this wall. Used to be solid until we renovated, and we put this big sort of connecting window in there. And what I really wanted to do with this guy is sort of grow him all around the edge of this outside kind of viewing window here. And so I've started to, let me pan in. I'm going to come around here and show you what I use. Here's one. Okay, so right here. So I bought these little clips on Amazon, and they just stick to the wall, like sort of a peel and stick sort of situation. And then they have these things that twist, and you put the branch through. I wish they were a little smaller, but you know what? I'm not going to be fussy about it. And so this is about a year's worth of growing. So you can see I've trained him along that area of the window. And then up through here, we have a little deer head, and I couldn't wait to wind the leaves all throughout the deer head. And so that's starting to happen. The piece hanging down there, I could probably train up and around. I want it to go all through he's up here. He's not a Christmas decoration. He's up all the time because we have a lot of deer over here. And so I want it to go all the way up through those antlers. And then all on his own, he sort of grabs the wall. I'm going to try and bring you around here. He sort of grabbed the wall in certain places and on the other side. And here he is on the other side of the wall. So this is looking out. I have to get a few of those sticky things, but how cool, because this is like a column that exists between the window and the living room. And he has started to wrap himself around. And so that's exactly what I wanted him to do. And I'm just loving the overall look of the plant. Interestingly, you can see here, I'm going to pan out a little bit. You can see, at least I can see, his leaves are a little droopy, indicating and telling me that he needs a little bit of a water. If you come in here, you can see some of that droop. And so he's definitely calling for a drink, and I'm about to give him one. Next up is my monstera, another plant that is loving the light situation in this house. So this is ascending up into the loft, and just next door is the skylight right there. And so he does, believe it or not, get light from there. And as you can see, he is reaching his leaves towards that light. And so periodically, I haven't in a while, it's a little precarious, but I will rotate and let these leaves here, right here, sort of go the opposite direction. And I'm going to zoom in here a little bit So you can see his pretty leaves. And so he is a split leaf. And so right here you can see that's how the leaves come out. They come out solid. And then as they age, they become split like these. And again, this is another plant that gets huge leaves. And I saw another plant person use a tomato cage. And so I have the Velcro strapping, and as these branches get super long and heavy, I tend to support them with a little bit of the Velcro garden tape and stake him to, or secure him to, the tomato cage so he doesn't get crazy, and that way it sort of trains him to stay in one spot, and I'll be able to keep him in this location. I'll try and back up here so you can see, give you some perspective as to how big he is. And so that's my Monstera. He's about to get a drink as well. Last plant of the day. This is my peperomia, looking a bit droopy. Again, he's another plant that sort of lets me know when he's ready for a drink. But I wanted to show you what I do with this plant because I find it really fun. So I'm gonna bring you in closer here. So he grows like sort of straight up. I've seen ones that grow a little more full. And so in an effort to get him to grow a little more, like more bushy, I guess is the word, I propagate him. And propagation is something new to me, and so I am by no means an expert. But I have done a little bit of it with this guy, and it's been super easy and super fun. And so I'm going to show you what I do. Right over here on my windowsill is a little glass, just a glass. I don't know what this was. I think it was like a salt and pepper shaker or something like that, a shaker that I just fill with water. And I root these peperomia. And right around the time that they start getting the roots that you see here is when I take them. I let them get pretty good root length there, and you can see this one's throwing out so many. I let him get pretty good root length, and then I go ahead and pot him in some potting soil and things like that. I did see a video on YouTube that just lopped them off the original plant and plopped them in some soil and said that they would do fine. However, that technique did not work for me. I've already tried it. And so here's what I do. I just come in right like here, and I will take this top half of leaves and growth off. There is no real, it gets pups. They're called pups, which I think is really cute too. Down here, there's one sort of coming like an offshoot from there. But I really don't do that. I lop him off the top so that we sort of, you can see here I have some stakes like holding him up because he's so heavy. And so I'm trying to develop this part down here a little more. So I lop off the top, and these things are, I give him a little, I find a spot where the leaves are coming out, and then I go about a half an inch below there, and then I do what I just showed you. And this is about 2 weeks worth of water and propagation, and then I will plop him in some potting soil and let him go to town. And it's been really effective for me to do it that way. I've gifted, I love to gift little propagation that I'm able to take from my own plants. I just think it's just a very cool thing that you own a plant and you can give a person a little piece of what you have grown and nourished and let them grow and nourish it as well. I do that with the pothos that I showed you earlier, the one that trails. We had some people here remodeling our house, and the one woman who was the tiler commented on all my plants and said how beautiful they were. And in the time that she was here tiling for us, I propagated some pothos, potted it up, and gave it to her as a little gift. And I just think that's kind of fun and cool. So, yeah, I'm starting very newly into propagation, but I really, really love it, and I'm hoping to get a few more items. I requested some propagating tools, including a grow light and maybe, some little vessels to put propagations in, and maybe some sort of little rack and a grow light and some vessels. And I'm hoping to do a lot more of this type of thing. I had a great idea. I know a lot of knitters, it seems to be, at least the last time that I showed some of my plants, a lot of knitters are into plants as well. It just seems to be like this common theme. And so I had an idea for some of my markets that I do in the wintertime to create a bunch of propagations and repot them and have them in small pots to offer up in addition to my socks and my hats and things that I offer at markets. And so that's the plan, to sort of expand out a little bit and have this nice sort of greenery as part of my market displays when I do markets in the winter.